So Jordan Brand plays us with these reimagines, but it might not be the way you think. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna play you this dope ass intro that I put together for you guys, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna explain everything. Just give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Don't go nowhere.
OG Trap Jordan, OG Trap Jordan. The other sneaker YouTubers, the hell are boring. OG Trap Jordan, OG Trap Jordan. I got sneakers, raining and pouring.
So before we get into it today, and I explain what I mean by Jordan Brand plays us with these reimagines, I kind of want to get into it about the reimagines a little bit, previous ones, and I want to kind of try to figure out what exactly qualifies a reimagine, because I got some questions about that. But first, let's just jump into the reimagines that I have. And obviously one of the most recent ones and popular ones was this one right here, the Reimagined Black Cement 4, aka the Bread 4. And as you can see, you already know, all they did was swap out the nubuck for the leather. So they made a little change, called it a Reimagine, and the thing flew off shelves, and now it's got resale value. Well, let's talk about the first Reimagine that some people might not even realize is a Reimagine. It is the Band 1, aka the Bread 1, the original Jordan 1, with this patent leather. Now, I only got these because it was the first time I ever got exclusive access off the Sneakers app. So when I seen that, automatically I had to shoot it and get it, and there it is. So right here, this is the one. Bam. The Lost and Found Chicago 1. Probably the most sought after and probably most popular Reimagine that there is. Now these I really wanted real bad, but I'm gonna tell you why I really wanted them real bad. The exact same reason that they made these. The reason that I wanted these so bad is not because I'm a fan of the Reimagine. It's not because I'm a fan of the, what do you call it, the aged look? No, it's not that at all. You want to know what it is? It's because I didn't have an actual Chicago 1 in my collection. I got the original Spider-Mans, and I got a patent leather from '04 that's more like a mid, but I didn't have them. And you know what? I wasn't about to shell out $2,000 in resale price for a shoe that we all know is actually a GR, and after COVID and after The Last Dance skyrocketed in price. I wish I would have got those pre-COVID, because they were going for $700, which I thought was ridiculous. And the next thing you know, they're going for $2,000. But that's kind of bringing me a little bit closer to my point, but we're not quite there yet. So now I want to discuss, those are the only Reimagines that I actually have in my collection, by the way. But I want to discuss what actually qualifies for Reimagine. Is it different material? Do they just make little changes? Because I got a couple shoes that, in my opinion, should probably qualify as a Reimagine. And I'm going to start off with these right here first. These came out a few years back. The Royalties. These are basically a taxi with that gold right there. But they're not a taxi because they got that gold right there. So that kind of brings me to my point on that. We just had those other red taxis too, and the only difference between those and taxis is they got that red thing swiped down the middle, just like this gold one right here. So another one that I want to bring your attention to is these, the Gratitudes. So they changed the material. These were basically the DMPs, but what they do, they change the material. So why don't these qualify as a Reimagine? Aren't they basically a Reimagine? Isn't it basically the same concept? And technically, wasn't the DMPs a Reimagine of the Concords? Because it was DMP, which stand for Defining Moments Pack. So they had these back then. Well, not these, but you know, the DMPs, which are basically these with mesh upper. And then they also had the 6s, which are basically the infrared 6s. but they had gold on them instead of the infrared. And the reason they're defining moments is because Jordan won his first championship in the infrareds, so they made the DMPs to commemorate that. And then they also made the DMP 11s to commemorate basically him coming back out of retirement wearing the Concord 11. So, in my opinion, these are basically a reimagine of the DMPs, and the DMPs are technically a reimagine of the Concord 11s. So, if you really want to get technical, there's all types of shoes that we could qualify as a reimagine. But with all that being said, that was just a little interesting things that I've been thinking about lately that I wanted to share with you. But now I want to get into why I think Jordan Brand plays us with these reimagines. And the reason that I say that is because I talk about this a lot, and I kind of talk about it a lot, but not exactly. And the reason that I think that they do is because it keeps certain silhouettes that are very popular, it keeps them popular. It keeps us wanting them more. Everybody's talking about how they want the taxi to come back because they keep giving us, I know that these are not reimagines, but that's my point. And they keep on coming out with something close to it, but we want the real deal. And that's the same thing with all these shoes. I got Breads, but I wanted the Chicagos. And I couldn't get them, and when these came out, I was super excited because it is a Chicago. It's just got that aged look. And that is the whole point. They don't want to oversaturate it like they're already known for doing, and they don't want to kill the popularity. If they keep coming out with these silhouettes, it's going to decrease the popularity of them. I've heard people say things like, oh, Jordan Brand, they really do want to stop bots and stuff like that. They don't like their shoes reselling, and I call BS on that. They love that type of stuff. They love people to have a desire for these shoes, and they love these shoes to be sought after because that's what makes them so valuable, and that's what's kept them so popular over the years because they're hard to get. Even when they're a GR, they take forever to come out, and sometimes they take so long that instead of giving us what we actually want, they give us this. Or if something did come out a few years ago and people really want them, they'll go ahead and give us this. Not a bad idea, because next time these shoes come out, they're still gonna sell. If they were to come out with them every 5 years, every few years, the price and the value of them would be nothing to desire. People would not care. They would sit on shelves like Jordans are doing right now. It's a psychological game. You can't get them right now, so what are you gonna do? You're gonna go for the next best thing, and then later on, they're going to come out with the original one that you want. And even though you already have the next best thing, what's everybody going to say? Oh, well, these are the originals, and they haven't come out like this with OG specs and this long and that long. So everybody's going to go after them, and they're going to maintain that desirability, and they're also going to maintain their value and their hype. And they'll continue to be able to sell them or leave them on ice for years and years and years to come, and then when they come out, everybody will want them because they couldn't get them before, or they used to have them back in the day, or last time they came out they didn't have the original specs, and then we'll all go after them. And it's brilliant. It's psychological. It keeps us wanting because we really can't have them, and that's just what it is. And now coming up, we've got the black toe ones. It's been a little minute since the black toes came out, and they've came out a couple times, and sometimes they're not quite up to par, and that's another thing that they're doing because they've been retroing shoes for so long, and they were never really exactly like the retros. So you could even look at a lot of retros back in the day like they're kind of a reimagined because they just kind of slapped something together that was kind of like the OGs but not quite the same. So now they have a chance to come back and remake all these shoes and say, listen, they've never had OG specs, they've never been like this before, and you want them because you never had them like that, and these are the OGs. So now we got the black toe ones coming out, and what they do, they reimagined it. Because you know why? We're all gonna go out and we're gonna buy them because they got this whole little story, just like they had a story with the Lost and Founds. This time Jordan gave a sample pair to one of his friends with his autograph and a little message on it. So they're gonna box that up and have a whole story for that, and we're gonna go get them. And you know what's gonna happen? 5 years from now, they're gonna come out with some real black toes, and we're all gonna go get them. Because how long has it been since we had some real black toes and the OG specs exactly like the OGs? And now we just got news just right now recently that those UNC ones, that it's been a little minute since they came out and people want those. Those are gonna be, we knew they were gonna be reimagined, but at this point we just found out that they're aged. So we're all gonna go after those. We're all gonna want them. They're gonna be real heavily desired, and we're all gonna fight on Sneakers App for them and try to get them. And then 5, 6, 7 years down the line, they're gonna give us the OG, and the cycle goes in like that forever and ever and ever. And you want to know something? It's brilliant. It's marketing and it works. But that's why I say the Jordan brand plays us. We got these. I wanted these, not because I wanted these, because I wanted the Chicago ones. And guess what? I wouldn't be surprised if in the next year or two, I wouldn't even be surprised if at the end of this year, maybe another couple years, they're gonna come out with the Chicago one. And you know what we're gonna do? We're all gonna go after them, because the last time they came out, they were a reimagined and they weren't OG specs. And so, it's a game. It's a psychological game, and Jordan Brand plays us, and we go for it, and we love it, and we take it. We take it right up the old woo-ha with no Vaseline, and we love it. We fight and we fight with the bots, we fight with the resellers, we fight with the stores and the apps, and we beg Jordan Brand to take our cash, even though they keep on playing us and playing psychological games with us. But that's alright, because you know what? That's the life of a sneakerhead. And I low-key kind of love it. So that is what it is, and that's all I got for today. But before I jump off of here, I just want to ask, if y'all are loving this content, please drop a like, sub to the channel, and I really appreciate it. But with that, I'm OG Trap Jordan. I'm signing off once again, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.